Aloha and welcome to this Divine Union Oracle reading. Alrighty, so the energy actually feels uplifting, kind of fluttery, free. There's this vibrancy that's coming in, so it feels good, y'all. It feels like the divine unions have definitely shifted through some heaviness, because it feels so much lighter than it ever has when I've done these previously. And Spirit is telling me that these are timeless, so maybe look through the other ones on this page and see which one resonates for you at this time, whether that be this current one that I'm getting ready to channel for, or one of the others. There are messages in there for you. Okay, so I have not tapped in yet to see which is which pile, so let's go ahead and do that now. And okay, they want me to use the pendulum, which I don't typically use, but I think they're can you confirm, Spirit? Yes, they're doing this so that those of you who are interested in working with the pendulum or interested in working with energy can start to learn how to do so. All I'm going to do is hopefully you can see my pendulum here, and I'm going to come over to each pile and I'm just going to ask, is this pile for those that are currently in union? No, my no stands still for me. Is this pile for those that are currently in union? I got a maybe. Okay, I know why. And is this pile for those that are currently in union? Yes. Okay, that is a big yes. So this pile here is for those that are currently in union, have been in union, are rising in union. I feel like this is for the couples that have been together for quite some time, whether that's soulfully, through other lifetimes or in this lifetime. This is for y'all. Okay, so we have 2 left. So I'm assuming now that this pile in the middle is for those that have come into union and then been separated. Yes. Okay, so see, we got a yes there. Okay, so those who have come into union and been separated. And just to confirm, is this for those that are not in union yet? No. And is this for those that are not in union yet? No. Okay. Is this pile for those that are not in union yet? Yes. Okay. So we have the pile here on the left is for those that are in divine union and are doing well, thank you, Spirit, just went through some upgrades and are through the shift. This middle pile is for those of you who they're saying are in union, okay, because they're saying once you're in union, I feel like, thank you, I wanted to confirm with Spirit. They said those that were in separation and had no chance of coming back together in the current bodies that they were in have shifted out of this reading altogether. So this is for anyone who is in separation. Now this means that it could be a union with, they're telling me with a, like your partner has moved on, passed on. They're telling me that these are unions where the soul has shifted and is possibly coming back through another body, another being. So that would be like in the case of a walk-in soul, or those that are currently in separation and trying to work it out. So there's a double meaning for this one here. And then this last one is for those of you that have not come into physical union yet, but they're telling me it's getting closer. They're showing me like this hallway, and it's getting tighter and tighter. So I feel like y'all that have not come into physical union yet are getting very, very close. So let's start. Where are we gonna they're like, let's ask. Okay, do we want to start with pile number 1? No. Do we want to start with pile number 2? No. We want to start, yes. Okay, So we're going to start with pile number 2. We'll move on to pile number 3, and then we will finish today with pile number 1. Okay, that makes sense. So we'll go from not in union yet, in union, but physically separated, trying to work things through, and then in union and rising. Alrighty, timestamps will be in the description for the others. We will start with this one. Welcome back, those of you that are not in physical union yet. Oh my goodness, the energy is like giddy and happy and playful and excited and like new love. Oh my gosh, this feels so good. So I feel like y'all are so close. Like they're showing me like walking by each other, like 2 images walking by each other on the street and not even realizing like, oh hey, that was you. Or like there's images I've seen online of people that have crossed paths at different times, and then they get married and they're looking back through like old photos and they're like, oh my gosh, look, that's me in the background and we were in the same place at the same time. And this is the energy that they're giving me. It's like, y'all are ready. They're saying you are already crossing paths and not even realizing it. So keep your eyes open, be aware, be open, be ready, because this is coming in hot and fast. All right, let's flip over, see what this first card has to say for y'all. All right, truth and integrity. You may respect another's opinions while remaining grounded in your truth. Each of us possesses wisdom and perspective that are unique to us. The whole of humanity, every sentient being together, equal in truth. It is okay to respectfully agree to disagree. Okay, Spirit. So what is this message for those that are not in? They're saying that there's some things that are never going to come into full alignment, that there are things that you're going to see one way, they're going to see another, and it's not supposed to come into alignment. That's what makes these unions so beautiful, is you don't have to be the perfect partner. You don't have to settle. You don't have to change who you are. And this is really important, Spirit is saying, because as you get closer to coming into physical union, they want to make sure that you stay in your truth, even if that truth is not the same for your partner. So even if you feel things that are completely different from the way your partner feels, being able to stand in your power and be who you are without changing, or they're saying editing, how funny, editing yourself to conform to something that feels too good to be true. And I'll tell you, so when I came into union with my husband, it felt just that way. It was like, whoa, what is this? This feels way too good to be true. And in that moment, I had to learn detachment. And I've carried that into my relationship with my husband, because, and he's carried into the relationship with me as well, because if I would have gotten caught up on the, oh my gosh, this person is amazing, I can't live my life without them, which I had done previously with karmic relationships, that's a whole nother story. But if I was in that energy, I wouldn't be able to appreciate him at his whole. I would have conformed, shifted myself, done anything I could to make sure that he and I were going to work out. And that's not the way that these divine unions work. The way that these divine unions work is, I'm going to stand fully in my truth, in my power, be 100% authentically me. And it's going to either activate you or trigger you as a partner to do the same. And if we are not in alignment, we're going to know that either there are some things that we need to work on internally, or there are some things that we need to let go of, that we don't have to hold on to. We don't have to force ourselves to like something, be a certain way. What Spirit really is wanting you all to understand before you come into these unions in physical, is to not dissolve into your partner, not completely change who you are because you got something great, right? Still hold your boundaries, still be in your authenticity, and hold yourself in a high regard. They're going to respect that. You're going to respect that as they do that for themselves. And so being in truth and integrity is what is being anchored into these unions right now to come into physical union. Okay, moving on. We have practice daily. Okay, so this pose that she's doing here is a heart opener. Her back is extended, her heart is open, and she's seeing things from a different perspective as well. So inversions typically, a lot of people think about, the being upside down part, but what I learned in one of my amazing yoga classes a few years back was that inversions teach us to see things from a different point of view. So I feel like coming into union, there may be some differences that are going to need to be worked out. And Spirit is asking you to see things from a higher perspective, see things from actually even a lower perspective. They're saying just a different perspective, and not putting your energy onto them and not dissolving into them. It really is, being in union is being in union with self first and then radiating that out to your partner. So they're saying practice daily in opening up your heart and in seeing things from a different perspective. Okay, let's see what else we got here. We have the power of surrender. Okay, and it says surrender to setting limits. It is healthy to set boundaries in relationships. Practice expressing your needs and remember that no is a complete sentence. Yeah, so those of you that are coming into union, I feel like there's a strong connection that's coming through from your higher self that's saying, please don't lose yourself. Make sure that you are staying in your power. Make sure that you are staying in your light. Make sure that regardless of whatever situation you get thrown into, that you're able to still know yourself and love yourself and be your authentic self at the end of the day, right? There was a situation when my husband and I came together, and I remember going back to Spirit and being like, nope, I'm not doing this. I've worked on myself. I've worked so hard to make sure that I am a person of truth and integrity, and I'm not going to be put in a situation that I don't feel is for my highest vibration. And Spirit said, okay, and this is your partner, so deal with it. Basically, like, they had to teach me to let go of the ego, really just ask my ego to take a step back and to tap into my self-worth and to set my boundaries, yes, but also to allow, that is like my word of the week, allow things to happen as they are supposed to. So when my husband and I came into union, there were some things that still needed to be worked out before we could come into the complete union, the sacredness of marriage. And so we had to work those out. It took us 2 months, not long at all, and then we were married. But those 2 months, there was some back and forth with, is this what I want? Am I really doing this? Am I trusting? And I had to continue to surrender and trust and detach so that I could be fully in my power, in my confidence, in my light, and then step into the relationship with that energy. And I feel like that's what they're telling you. Like, hold up, check yourself. Are you ready for this? And are you going to be able to stand in your light no matter the situation? And sometimes that just means surrendering and trusting. Sometimes it just means connecting with your inner self and looking at things from a different perspective. So, okay, anything else for that card? No, they're just showing like the detachment in her face. You know, it's like she's putting her hand up, setting her limit, and also not like completely attached. Not like, oh my gosh, I can't live without you. What am I going to do after you come into union? That's what they don't want, because that causes unhealthy cycles to start in the relationship, and you don't want to start off a relationship like that. Okay, then we have empathy. You feel and understand the emotions of another in service of love. So they are wanting me to channel a little bit of empathy for those of you. Okay, I feel like this is connected to maybe something that your lover, the person that you're coming into union with, is having to still work through or process through. And instead of being a reactor and reacting to the things that are happening, it's like, take a step back, breathe, look at it from a different perspective, put yourself in their shoes, see what they're growing through, and then move into that, next present moment. And that's exactly what happened with the situation with my husband when we came into union. It was like, I kept asking Spirit, is this real? I know what I'm feeling in my heart, and I know my boundaries, and I'm not willing to break those. And there was a specific occasion where my husband, before we were married, he asked me to do something, and my ego was like, nope, not happening. You're crazy. I'm not doing that. It wasn't anything horrible, you guys, but it was still the energy of like, no. And then I took a step back and I saw things from a different perspective, and I realized what a genuine, loving person this man was. And I thought, you know what? He really is just showing me his character right now, and that he is genuine. And that if that requires me to step back for a moment, I can absolutely do that, because I know that we are meant to move forward together. So, okay, they're saying they're already channeling. Thank you. So I don't have to do it. So they are channeling some empathy through this reading. Okay, and then we have Orion activation. Yes, these unions that are coming together, you are being rebirthed into a whole new light, a whole new you. So maybe even, not maybe, thank you. They said take out the maybe. The you that you know now is not the you that you're going to know when you come into this union. It really is a complete, they're telling me, disfiguration of who you are, and an enlightenment into who you are becoming in the next present moment. So there is a full on, I feel like y'all, when you come into this union, you are stepping through a portal and activating like this supernova. Like things are shifting, not just for you and your relationship and who you are as a being. It literally is going to change who you are as a being, but also for the collective. Y'all, when you come into union, it's going to send ripples out into the collective that's going to help shift others as well. So this is far more powerful than you may even realize, which brings me to the dragons, who usually don't come through in these readings. So this was interesting. This was a source dragon that wanted to come through, and it said it attunes you to the infinite. Be still. In the silence, magic can happen. Be in the moment. Yes. So when you come into union, it is about being in the moment. And then if needed, tapping out and seeing things from a much, much higher perspective. Seeing things from, through the eyes of source, through the eyes of the creator. And being able to fully embody what it is that we are here to do as divine unions. We have sacred missions as divine unions to come together and help support the ascension of Earth Realm. And I feel like this is going to take you into that next level. So lots of preparation, making sure that you are fully ready for it, and that you're not going to they're like, you're not going to cave in. You're not going to shift out of not even belief. They're saying like the knowing that this union is meant to be. Okay, and then we have determination. Yes, and they're saying this is what has gotten you here. This is what has gotten you here. There has been, it's been a long ride, they're telling me, like a lot of healing for yourself, for the collective, for your partner. And it's like allowing yourself to be able to fully rest into that feminine energy once this union comes together and forms in the physical. It's like looking back at everything that you've done to get here, and then allowing yourself to just breathe and open and relax and surrender into this beautiful new relationship. Okay, I am going to pull one last Galactic Star Tarot card for y'all. So, oh, that was quick. Okay, so we have 4 of discs. Oh, they said one more. That was fast. Yes, the Empress. The Empress. Oh my goodness. So, y'all, the energy that it's like finally being able to, now the feminine, let me just say this, the feminine does a lot of work in the spiritual. The feminine is the protector and the provider in the spirit realms, and because of their connection and their intuition, they are able to foresee things that are happening in, you know, in the current present moment. And so they're saying what this shift is going to do for you. It's, oh, okay, they're interrupting me. So I'm just going to point this out since they are interrupting me. They're showing me her belly here. And they're saying things are going to move very, very quickly when you come into union. Like so fast, you're going to question it yourself. And that's exactly what happened with me and my husband. Things moved rapidly, right? We met in November. We married in January. It was not even a quarter later that we just knew, and it felt amazing. And y'all, it still feels amazing. And we still are so grateful for coming into union that way. So be prepared, because you may come into union and like, boom, you may be having a baby, or you may be moving somewhere and creating, like they're showing me all of these flowers around here, like everything is coming into fruition, everything's blossoming. And I asked what the 4 of discs energy was, and they're just showing me the connection with their heart and this like sisterhood. It's being in yes, it's like part of this is what has gotten you, like the support and the love of other women around that have helped get you to this space, or other, I guess I should say, feminine energies around that have helped you get into this space. But moving forward, I see this as like, this is why this is such a big shift, y'all, because everything is coming into fruition. Everything is blossoming. Community is going to line up. Everything is expanding. They're showing like how the dragon here is expanding that portal. And so much is happening so fast. So that's why they're, Spirit's like, I know that they've been waiting on this for a long while. And there was so much preparation to get here, because once it's here, it's like, boom, almost like this, they talk about the solar flash and how like it's going to come in and like flash and like, boom, in an instant, you're here or you're not. And that's exactly how I feel with this pile. I feel like those of you that when you come into union, it's going to be like a flash of energy, and your whole life is going to change overnight. So that is what the preparation is. And they're saying like, yeah, they think they're ready, but get out of the head. Do you actually fully feel ready, open, Is your heart open? Are you having any kind of a good sign through the physicals? If you're having any kind of pain in the back of the heart space, that could tell you that maybe you're not open to it yet. Maybe you need to do some heart openers, let some things go, create more room, because what is coming in is so abundant that you do need to have the physical room in your body to be able to take it all in. Okay, any last messages, Spirit, for those that are not yet in union? They're just saying thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for holding on, for continuing to do the work. All is aligning. All is aligning. And I'm seeing, as I'm saying this, these portals opening up. So yes, get ready, because it is about time to step through that portal and to shift into this whole new you. Alrighty, thank you so much for tuning in. Until next time, adios. Welcome back to those of you that are in union and in separation, not together, or trying to work things out. I'm hearing like there's been a shift forward, so I feel like there's a trying to make things happen, trying to shift whatever, they're saying not trying, actually doing, like shifting whatever needs to happen within you and within your partner so that things can actually come in back into full physical union. Okay. Also, they're saying that some of you that are still watching these readings have shifted out of the union. Now, that came through in the past reading, so if you haven't watched that one, I will link it in the description so you can check it out, but I do highly recommend going back and watching it. There was talk about just shifting out of their energy completely and then possibly coming back through a different form. So go back and listen to that if that resonates. And I'm just going to let the messages come through. And then, if they tell me I need to differentiate between the two groups, then I will. So let's start here. All right. We have all things must pass. When a storm flows into your life, remember that it's just passing by. All will pass. Life is perpetual movement. There is peace always in your higher mind and spirit. Let there also be peace in your heart. Yes. So I feel like you all are passing through this now. Things are shifting. You're finally starting to move through some of the yuck that has caused the separation or drawn you into separation. So there is movement, which it feels good. Like it feels like things are flowing again. I don't feel any densities. I feel like things are just open, and I'm seeing like tears, just like waterfalls of tears. It's like so much emotion has been purged, probably with this last full moon and or the eclipses, but so much has shifted. So let's see what else is coming through for y'all. All right, create sacred space. Create sacred space. What they're telling me with this card is they're wanting you to come into silence, to come into even a meditative state that is going to lift you to a space where you can connect with your partner in a higher vibration. So sometimes this will happen through dream space. Sometimes it'll just happen through meditation or getting out into nature and being in silence in nature, allowing yourself to receive whatever messages your lover wants to come through. And I feel like this is a lot of forgiveness that's coming through. I'm hearing, actually, I'm going to just channel because it's coming through pretty heavily. I didn't realize what was going on at the time. I know that there are things that I could have done differently. I realized what it was like being without you, and I'm having a hard time fully accepting my life without you. I know that that is not what is supposed to be. We are supposed to be together. We are supposed to work through this. I am ready and open take your time. I will be here when you are ready. Whew. Okay, so that was a direct message. I don't know if that was for someone specific, but I feel like it really does relate to these unions that are in separation. There is forgiveness coming back in. There is emotion that is being purged, and things are finally getting back into flow. So take some time, be in silence in nature, meditate. You can ask. We go into this somnambulistic phase, or a theta brainwave stage, twice a day. We go in when we're getting ready for bed and we're really, really sleepy, and right before we go to bed. Now, this is a great time to ask questions. So if you want to ask, how do we make this work? How do we bring things back together? Ask during that time right before you go to sleep, and you may have it come through in your dreams. You may have it come through the next few days, while you're out and about. Or ask when you rise up in the AM and you're kind of groggy and just feeling through things. That is the best moment to ask as well, because that is a theta brainwave state. It means that we are not like fully online yet, not fully awake, and we're also not fully tapped out into delta. So it's a good time to ask any questions. Now, I also do in my readings, I list on the Xamanxi channel. Thank you. They're like, tell them where. On the Xamanxi channel, I do list my email that you can reach out and ask any questions that you want answered during the readings. I do keep it anonymous. I won't say who I got it from, but if there's something that you want to put in there, like if you're like, mention a green heart or mention a yellow ladybug, I will definitely put that in there just for you, so you are aware that the message is for you. But if you want to ask questions anonymously, just send them to my email and I will answer them in these readings. Okay, let's see what else. All right. Surrender to miracles. Yes, like things are flowing again. Things are moving. There's movement. Let go of the resistance and banish any doubt that it can happen. So if you felt like, it's going to take a miracle for us to get back together, well, that miracle is here. It's happening. That things are shifting. You can come back into union, and it will be a much more elevated union. You will have both shifted through whatever energies were keeping you back or holding you down, so that you can both rise into what is coming next. Okay. We have transformation. Yes. So y'all are I feel like this whole time that you've been in separation has been just a huge transformation, a big shift in your energy and their energy. They're even telling me the people around you, and getting back to self. The part of the problem with the separation, or why these unions came into separation, is because they were starting to dissolve into each other, right? Like giving, what that means, giving too much of yourself, conforming, not wanting to be in your own light, because maybe your light caused conflict sometimes. Sometimes when we're in our light and our partner's not, we can easily trigger them into conflict. So being in that space, and there's just a deep, deep transformation that's coming through for those of you that are in separation. So it feels really good. Allow it to happen. And find some silence. It may help you through this. Find some silence. Okay. We have the stellar gateway activation. So yes, I'm going to leave this here. Okay. And they want me to channel. So I'm just going to channel some energy coming through. Okay, so they are telling me that with that activation, it was to clear out the mind chatter, clear out the junk, the things that are happening in your head, because those of us that are meant to be in divine union in this lifetime, we are master manifestors. We are co-creators. We can create whatever it is that we want. Now, here's the catch. We can also create negative, y'all. We can also create the things that we don't want in our lives. And so they're telling me like the mind chatter was just so much that it's part of what caused these separations was being too much in your head, listening to people outside of yourself, and they're saying not letting go. It's like one thing spiraled into another. And the energy they're giving me is like, okay, thank you. So they're saying, if we are rising and evolving and changing every day, right? Like we're, hopefully all of us are wanting to get better and better and better. And we see our partner that does something that reminds us of their old self, right? We might go into, our ego might come up and go, yeah, he's just going to do this again, or she's just going to do that again. I've already dealt with it. This is how they've been. They're not going to change. They've been like this for X amount of years, and I can see they're just going to go right back to da-da-da-da-da. Well, you are creating that. You are creating that. So letting go of all of that and tapping out and saying, I know that my partner is divine. I know that we are meant to be together. I know that we're going to make it through this. Y'all, the energy that's coming through. I've had this happen in my own relationship where my husband and I have triggered each other and gotten to the point where we're not talking and we have to get away from each other for a while. And I'll go for a little drive or try to be out in nature, usually during those times. And then instantly I'm like, nope. Nobody is interfering in my relationship. We are meant to be together. We are divine union. We are sacred union. And we are going to work through this. We're going to communicate. We're going to come back together. And I'm going to let my partner rise. And I'm going to ask my partner that he lets me rise as well. We've got to let go of those old versions of each other if we want to continue to rise. If we want to stay in that same boat and keep going in circles and round and round and round, we can definitely do that. We are the co-creators, the master manifestors. We can make that happen. And you likely were making that happen in your relationship, you or your partner. And they're saying like, now it's time for us to get all of that shit out of our heads, let go of the lower versions of your partner and yourself, right? And yourself. For so long, I kept saying, I will never get back to a place where I'm, drinking out of control again, or where I become an alcoholic again. I'll never get back to that place. And I had to constantly talk myself through it, because sometimes my mind would go, oh, they did that. This happened. I think I want to drink, or just F this. I'm done with it. What am I going to do? I just want to tap out. Nothing's working. Let me drink. And then I know what a powerful manifestor / co-creator I am. And so I have to consciously talk myself back down. And I feel like this is what's happened with those of you in these separations. It's like you haven't let go of your past self, or you haven't let go of your partner's past self. And there's some shifting still that needs to happen to be able to, once we let go of all the lower versions of our partners and the lower versions of ourselves, then there's nowhere else to go but up. We rise together. We come back into union. We come back together. So I know this from being in separation in my union, that in those moments when I left, and then I realized, no, we are going to get through this, and we are going to shift, and we're both going to grow. And I'm going to free myself from holding my partner in those lower vibrations and projecting those lower vibrations onto him so that we can rise. Then things started to shift, and rapidly. Okay, we have some dragon energy that wanted to come through. It is the dark blue galactic dragon, and he helps listen to the voice of the universe. Okay, so if you're having a hard time connecting, if you feel like you're just tapped out, or it's been so long and you're like, I'm just over it, ask for the blue dragon, dark blue galactic dragon, to come in and help you connect to your higher self, connect to a higher power, get some answers from the higher realms that will help you move through this. And again, the silence, right? Oh, and they're showing me here, they're like, look at the blue. There's a lot of like blue energy on this spread, especially with these two cards. And that tells me that there needs to be communication. You know, communication or lack thereof can really shift the vibration of a relationship. And a lot of the times when my husband and I would go through some kind of separation period, whether it was for like a day, a couple days, a couple hours, whatever it was, it always came back to communication. It always was, you know, us just not being able to speak our truth in that moment. And that for us came from our childhood. It had nothing to do with each other. I never felt like I couldn't talk to my husband. I'm sure my husband never felt like he couldn't talk to me. And there were times where I just felt like I couldn't talk, period. And I needed to run away. I needed to get away from that moment because it was too much for me. And then for my husband, there were times where, you know, so in my childhood, it was the, you know, running away, getting away from the problem. In my husband's childhood, it was tapping out. It was going silent, numbing himself like with silence, and kind of just tapping out of the current physical moment. And so that's when our communication was lost, when I would run away or when he would tap out into silence. And when we came back together and we had worked through our own shit individually, that communication is always what brought us back together. So I feel like this is ushering in a higher level of communication for you all. Okay, and the last one here. Okay, so the first thing I saw when I turned this card was the flexibility in her body, being able to get into this position. And I feel like there's some flexibility that needs to come, especially with what we were just talking about in regards to communication and allowing your partner to rise, not keeping them in those lower vibrations. And then also they do want me to point out what is on the card, and it is boundaries. What are your boundaries? Have you set boundaries with your partner? Are there things that you are not okay with that you would like for them to shift? Now, I'll tell you, one of the boundaries with me and my partner is I told my husband, there are days as a woman where I don't feel so confident. I don't feel like I'm in my best energy. And on those days, I communicate that to him so he's, one, aware of it, but I also set a boundary. Like, these are things that are okay today, and these are things that are not. And, you know, please respect my boundaries and be aware of those things before we, you know, go out into the world on these days. Because you can't always, you know, hide in your room or be in your home when these happen. So setting those healthy boundaries that will move things forward. All right. I believe that is all. Is that, yeah, they're saying that is it. So quick reading today, and everything is coming back into flow. It feels like there's movement. Really work on the communication. That is definitely going to help you. And then allow yourself to move through this transformation and let go of who you were or who they were. Set some boundaries and be ready to rise together, y'all. I feel like these are getting closer to being back in union as well. So these readings may shift here in the next few weeks, depending on how it all goes. Alrighty, that is all for today. Happy Venus Day. Until next time, adios. Aloha! Welcome back to those of you that are in union. These unions feel so good. Oh my goodness, there's so much joy and play and spontaneity and fun and adventure, and it feels so good. Like the energy feels, I can't stop smiling. I'm smiling from like ear to ear because the energy is just amazing. I love it. Okay, let's flip it over, see what this one has to say. Creativity. Ooh, I like it. All right, it says, I flowed through the invisible, formless fibers of your imagination. I see your hopes, colors, and dreams, the earth, sky, and stars shining within. I see you drawing creative wisdom from the ocean of existence you hold within. Move beyond thought and planning and let your imagination run wild. Woo, yes, I feel that for y'all. I feel that. I'm going to put it down here. The creativity that is coming through. Oh my gosh. It's like, I can't even explain it. This is like exciting new beginnings. All the fun things. Like it just feels so good. Okay, let's see what else we have. Commit. Okay. So what this is telling me is that with this creative energy that's coming through, there are things that maybe you and your partner had thought you were going to do or wanted to do at a specific time, and they're saying all of that is coming in now. You see these beautiful lights moving around her. It's like the aurora borealis, and it's like, thank you. They're like what you want to happen is so grand and majestic, and it can absolutely happen. This is why you all are here. This is part of the movement. This is part of why the sacred unions came into union in this lifetime. They're saying now focus in and commit to making it happen. So if you wanted to open a business together, if you wanted to take a business to the next level, if you wanted to connect with your community, if you wanted to create spaces where other people are able to express themselves, do whatever it is that your heart is calling. Now focus and hone in on it so that you can make it happen, because it is within reach. All of that loving, majestic, vibrant energy, it got nice and bright in here when that came through, is coming through. So they're saying like you don't even have to work to develop it. It just needs to happen. And with that being said, I feel like they're saying free yourself from any time that you're not spending in how do I say that, Spirit? Can you bring that back, please? They're saying, okay, free yourself from distractions. Free yourself from distractions. So maybe even like writing a list, like these are the things that I want to do this week, or these are the things that I want to do today, and then checking off that list as you go. And maybe that list is like, I want to create something physical, like I want to create an art piece or jewelry or something of that such. Or maybe it's like I want to create content, or I want to create a community. Whatever it is that you are wanting to create, they're saying put just a little bit of time to it each day. It doesn't have to be like hours of time. You don't have to get lost in it. But perhaps if you carved out even like 20 minutes per day to just put energy towards this, it's going to help you really anchor that energy in and be able to develop so many new things. This feels all like new, exciting things. Okay. We have the power of surrender here. Surrender stubbornness. Interesting. Surrender stubbornness. Okay, so if you're tensing up or taking a rigid stance about something, gently observe yourself becoming more yielding. This will help to communicate more lovingly with others and yourself. Oh, okay. I'm getting that this is in your relationship that there are almost like, you know, like maybe you had ideas and things that you wanted to do together, and like you're not being open-minded about it. It's like, we want to create a community, and then you're like, your partner's like, yeah, but I want a community that does, you know, XYZ, and you're like, I just want a community. It doesn't need to have all the like requirements. Like, let's just build community. It doesn't have to have, you know, even people that are always in our vibration. Let's just build community. I feel like those of you that chose this pile are building community. Or I guess I said chose this pile, but are in union. I forget that this wasn't a pile pick. Okay. So being less rigid and opening up to what community means. Like, maybe tap into, you know, what it means to create this new business, what it means to create community, what it means to create wealth, what it means to it's anything to do with creation, anything that you're creating. Tap into what it means, and then open and expand your mind and your heart, they're telling me, from there, so that you can make it happen. Because right now there is some stubbornness happening. It's like I said with the community, it's like, oh, let's create a community, and then you're like, oh, I don't want these kind of people in my community, or I only want these people in my community, and they're like, no, that's not the way it works. Just create it. Those that are in the vibration will come when the time is right. So you don't always have to like feel like you need to exclude anything. And I'm just using community because it's a good example, but this can be with anything. So, okay, let's move on, see what the power of love brought in. Harmony. Yes, harmony. So yeah, it's like, it's time for things to start moving to like, everything is coming together in alignment, and it's like majestic. This is such a higher vibration, I feel, and it's also opening to the limitless possibilities. They're saying limitless possibilities. When things are in harmony, there are no limits. All right, we have Anunnaki light codes. I'm gonna do a little channeling. Okay, this is seeing your partner in a whole new light. This is allowing your partner to be in their brightest of lights. Look at that light around that card. There's so many codes coming through it still. It is a huge energetic shift, and there's an abundance of new information that's coming online. And so the channeling that came through and what your guides are asking you to do is open up and surrender into your feminine, tap into your intuition. This goes for both parties in union. Get into that feminine energy of flow and intuitive downloads so that you can continue to move through this, because it is an end of a cycle. I feel like this is a recalibration for the divine masculine and the divine feminine within, coming into complete wholeness, coming into oneness, where, you know, you are the co-creator. You are the one setting that next present moment. Okay. And we have Thor's red, black, and gold dragon. Okay, because I'm like, why do they need protection? Because it's the protection dragon. But they said, because these big changes that are happening, it's like this, what you've dreamed of is so out there. Like, I feel like if this is a business, you're like, we're not just going to be known, you know, in in our city or in our state or in our nation. We're going to be known worldwide, or we're going to be known cosmically. Like, we're going to have, this is so wild, they're telling me, like, we're going to have cosmic beings that are coming to us to elevate their vibration. Like, there's so many majestic extra factors that play into this. And so they're saying, if you ever feel moving through these energies, if you're feeling unsafe, or you feeling like you're having a hard time with the stubbornness and the opening up and allowing things to happen, and maybe even, you know, like community, I was talking about community, maybe you're like, I don't want that specific community to be involved with my community because we're not in the same vibration. And they're like, no, allow them to come in, and then call in your dragons. Like, you'll be safe. There's nothing that can harm you. There's nothing that can pull you down. There's nothing that can shift you. You have risen together in union, and you're in a whole new level of consciousness. So for some of us, it does mean going back into lower realms of existence to help some of those people rise. And some of those people rising are in some really low, dense realms. So I feel like that's a part of it. And that's why they don't want you to cut yourself off. Like, if you are creating community and there are people who resonate at a lower frequency, instead of telling them no, they can't come, or instead of cutting your group off or your community off and being exclusive, it's opening up to whatever and whoever might come in, and allowing them to be there and holding space for that, and being open and flexible so that you can create more of it. Because what y'all are doing, what the divine unions are here to do, is to transform everything. I was gonna say earth realm, and I heard everything, cosmic realms as well. Like, there's so much shifting with these unions. So it's much higher than you probably even can imagine. Like, it's so out there. It is the aurora borealis, the energy of like something so amazing and so grand that you feel like you can't even grasp it. So keep opening up. Allow yourself to lose that rigid stance and allow things to come in, and know that those dragons are there to protect you along the way. All right, and then we have wisdom. Yeah, so they told me, those of you that are in union, have been in union already, you are the wisdom keepers. You are the wise ones. You are the ancient souls. And that wisdom is carried within your DNA, and just simply being around someone will help shift their energy. You don't even have to do anything. You just have to be in your light and present in whatever moment you're in, and you're going to be shifting frequencies of the room. So also they're wanting you to share whatever wisdom you have as a couple. Maybe even like your union. How did you come into union? What did you how are you continuing to stay in union? What are the things that you've worked through? It's time to start sharing those things to help others rise into union and rise into these higher vibrational frequencies. Okay, I'm going to pull a Galactic Star Tarot. Oh, that was quick. Okay, let's see. The Hanged Man. Okay. One more. The Moon. Okay. So this shows me that you're by being in this stubborn energy, by not opening up, by not wanting to allow other frequencies to co-create with you, it's like it's got you on a string. It's holding you up. You're just like, there's no movement. You're just chilling. It's not bad, but it's also not great, right? And then the moon here, the energy is of the flow, the water, right? Moon is connected to the waters, and everything getting into flow, into harmony, into move, like actual, like things moving and making things happen. So I feel like, again, like this is the balance and recalibration of the inner masculine, the inner feminine, to define who you are as a couple moving forward, and what you are here, you know, what you're here to do. Maybe you're here to create music together and bring people together that way. Maybe you're here to you know, to be a therapeutic space or hold space for people that are growing through some of these lower vibrations. Maybe you're here to just share your wisdom, share the things that you've learned throughout this lifetime that have helped you on your journey. But I feel like it's an opening up and a getting things back into flow. Okay, any last, they said to read the, oh, there's an affirmation. That's what it is. Read the affirmation for the moon. Okay. Oh, and they call it in the book, they call it star mantra instead of affirmation. So if I could find it here, let's see. They're like, it's right there, duh. Okay. Okay, it says, I honor the emotions that I feel, and I also know they shift and change. I am safe in the flow of my feelings. I am safe in the flow of my feelings. So it's okay to feel like you want to close off, or you want to, you know, have some exclusivity to what you're doing, but move through those feelings, because y'all are here for a much higher purpose. And I feel like because community came through so much in this reading, I feel like community is a big part of the reason you're here, is to bring people together. Alrighty. That is all for today. Happy Venus Day. Until next time, take care.